Mainland 98.3 FM, The Situation Room. Issues, personalities, and perspectives. We are always watching.
Nothing for Nigeria to shock me again, no. Politics for Nigeria, nothing surprise me again.
Hello there. Remember the saying, safety first. Your safety matters, and knowing how to make an emergency call can save lives. In times of trouble, knowing what to do and who to call can make all the difference. In case of fire, if you see a fire outbreak in either your home, office, or neighborhood, what do? In case of a crime or in danger, or you see something suspicious, what do? Also, health emergencies come without warning. So, in case of an accident, if someone is unconscious, injured, not breathing, or having a medical emergency, what then do you do? Simple. Reach out to the appropriate personnel by calling the emergency toll-free line on 112 or 767. Remember, 112 or 767. Now here is what to do when you call. Stay calm and speak clearly. Describe the emergency, give your exact location, give your name and phone number so the personnel can contact you if needed. Stay on the line. Follow any instructions, don't hang up until you're told to. And very importantly, do not misuse the emergency line, as OAX calls delay real help and are punishable by law. Let's work together to make Lagos safer for everyone. Remember the number. Remember, call 767 or 112 in an emergency. This message is brought to you by Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. Stay alert. Stay safe.
What's your emergency?
A very good evening to you. Welcome to the Situation Room live on Mainland 98.3 FM. Well, it's a cold day in the city of Lagos, depending on what part of Lagos you stay, by the way. And if you're unlucky to get caught in the rain, then it's certainly an unusual Tuesday for you. But of course, it's a pleasure to have you join us on the show today. Today is the last day of the month of March. So if you are the type that love to prank people, tomorrow is 1st of April. So if you're going around with the April Fool thing, Nigerians are not smiling at the moment. Nigerians body, they touch everybody. So if you are going to prank anybody tomorrow, if you are going to do April Fool for anyone tomorrow, I have to be careful and make sure that it is people that will understand, or people that you can easily just no, not prank, it's April Fool. I said that you don't go and set up the wrong person, and then it becomes chaotic. I remember there were a lot of cases last year. I remember I watched one where somebody was pranked, and they told her that, oh, you've won a competition, and then this and this, that we are calling for so and so radio, and then out of excitement she was like, oh, thank you. Okay, please, tomorrow is 1st of April. It's a new month. And it means that one day less ahead of the 2027 election. The timetable is officially out. So, and I'm sure a lot of us have seen it as well. And the politicking and the politics itself are gone full-fledged. Whatever happened yesterday in Kano, it's probably a show of telling everyone that you've got to sit up, irrespective of what political affiliation you hold. Okay, so before we go into all of those, let me run you through some of the key moments ahead of the 2027 elections. These are dates that you may want to take note of. The primaries of the political parties would come between the 23rd of April and the 30th of May. Okay. You got that right. 23rd of April and 30th of May 2026, political parties would have to conduct their primaries. and for presidential campaign to start on the 19th of August 2026. The governorship campaign will start on the 9th of September 2026. The presidential and the National Assembly election is on the 16th of January 2027. The presidential and the National Assembly election, that means the presidential election, the senatorial election, and the House of Representatives, would come up on the 16th of January 2027. And the governorship and the state houses of assembly would come up on the 6th of February 2027. So let me run through that again real quick. The party primaries, this is next month, April 23rd to August 30th, to May 30th, 2026. The presidential campaign will start on the 19th of August. The governorship campaign will start on the 9th of September. The presidential and the National Assembly election is on the 16th of January 2027. And the governorship election will be on the 6th of February 2027. So, if you think it's still far, and I've always said it, the entire political conversation will happen in 2026. The campaigns, the primaries, the nominations, the campaigns, the primaries, the post-campaign litigations or the post-primary litigations. In this case, the 2026 amended Electoral Act will probably make it a bit difficult for you to look for political parties that will provide SPVs, that's special purpose vehicles for you to jump on. So if you lose the primaries in your party, you are most likely going to remain in that party, because if you think you will jump to another party and pick up a ticket of that party, then you're wrong, because the Electoral Act is very clear. You need to have maintain an active membership register of that political party for 60 days. And you understand what I mean. So if you are still in a political party today and you're not sure that the party will give you tickets, today is the 31st of March. You still have 31st of April. If your party wants to do their primaries on the 30th of May, so you have exactly 59 days or give and take 60 days before you leave your political party today. Little wonder the deadline for resignation for all presidential appointees is today, the 31st of March. And the bulk of the people that has been rumored to they are nursing ambitions in their state, a lot of them are refusing to resign. Just I think a few of them. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, yes, he had actually resigned officially. There are rumors that he could want to aspire to be the governor of Bauchi State. Remember, out of all the 19 northern states, 18 of those states are APC. Only Bauchi is PDP at the moment, and the governor of Bauchi State, Governor Bala Mohammed, is not contesting again. He's running out his 8 years of 2 terms of office. So you probably think that there's no incumbent, and then whatever happens in between. But I'm just putting it out there that Minister of Foreign Affairs had resigned yesterday to pursue his gubernatorial ambition. But today there's still so much time before the end of today, though. If you check the front of dailies today, especially if you monitored our morning program on mainland FM dailies, you would understand that the bulk of the newspapers were picking the stories of the ministers are not even sure where their fate lies. So they probably just want to say, this one that I'm a minister, let me still hold on to what I have. Because the president, while he was away in the UK, the secretary to the government of the federation released the memo saying that all presidential appointees, whether you're a director of ministry, a serving minister, in whatever capacity, but you were appointed by the president, you must resign on or before the 31st of March if you're not seeing any ambition whatsoever. So I'm sure a lot of people expected to have a wave of resignation. Unfortunately, or maybe against all odds, we've not seen so many of them. Some of the people from Lagos, this person is not saying this and that, they've not resigned. But this is still 4:11 p.m. I'm sure between now and 12 midnight, we'll probably still see a couple of people that would want to resign. I'm talking about resignation. the 2023 presidential candidate of the New Nigerian People's Party, Rᴏᴏᴜ, was received into the ADC yesterday in the ancient city of Kano, and of course hundreds of thousands of supporters, either from the Cᴏᴜsᴇ movement, from even the People's Democratic Party, or his new party, the ADC. In fact, the report that some of the people at the arena yesterday also belong to the All Progressive Congress. But hey, it was a carnival-like moment yesterday as the leader of the Cᴏᴜsᴇ movement, Senator Rᴏᴏᴜ, officially decamped and joined the ADC yesterday in Kano. And of course, the bigwigs are from the different political interests in the states and even in the region are, trooped out to welcome him like the newest bride. So let me tell you the twist from that yesterday's decamping of Rᴏᴏᴜ. In the last presidential election, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu won the election, but the candidate that came second, third, and fourth in that election, the three of them are now in the same political party. What does that tell you about what we should expect ahead of the 2027 presidential election? Atiku Abubakar came second in 2023 with about 6.8 million votes. He's now in the ADC. Peter Obi of Labour Party came third with about 6.1 million votes. He's now in the ADC. And Rᴏᴏᴜ of the New Nigerian People's Party delivers some senators, House of Reps members, the majority in the House of Assembly, and a governor. Now he's also left the NNPP and is moved to the ADC. Meanwhile, the governor, Governor Abba Yusuf, had also left the NNPP and moved to the ADC. But today, on the floor of the House of Representatives, 9 members of House of Reps from Kano, NNPP in Kano, also decamped to the APC. Let me run you through their names. The member representing Dawanki Tofa, Rimigado Tofa Federal Constituency, Honorable Tijani Abdulkadir Jobe, had also left the NNPP, but this time around he didn't go to the ADC. He went to the APC. The member representing Gwale Federal Constituency, Honorable Garba Ibrahim Diso, had also left for the APC. Honorable Hassan Shehu Hussein, Nasarawa Federal Constituency, Honorable Idris Danwaku from Kumbotsto Federal Constituency, Honorable Mohammed Chiroma Dalarabe also moved from Gazewa Gabasawa Federal Constituency, Honorable Barrister Rabiu Yusuf from Sumaila Federal Constituency, Honorable Dr. Gali Mustafa Tijani from Gaya Aginji Federal Constituency, Honorable Barrister Mohammed Bello Shegu from Fage Federal Constituency. All of them, 8 of them, have moved from the New Nigerian People's Party, but they didn't follow the leader of the Cᴏᴜsᴇ movement to the ADC. Rather, they followed the governor to the All Progressive Congress. And also earlier today, the senator representing Niger South Senatorial District, Senator Peter Gia, had also dumped the PDP for the All Progressive Congress. By the way, until today, he was the only non-APC senator in Niger State. The other 2 senators are already members of the APC. So the entire Niger, from the governor to the senators, they have all joined the All Progressive Congress. And also earlier today, in the Ogun State House of Assembly, the 6 non-APC members have officially joined the All Progressive Congress. So the Ogun State House of Assembly has 26 members, and the entire 26 now belong to the All Progressive Congress. So it is 26 out of 26. Well, it's a wave of the campaign, and we'll continue to tell you the twists and the turns that you need to know. The members that decamped from the NNPP to the APC on the floor of the House today, their defection was witnessed by the governor of Kano State, His Excellency Governor Abba Yusuf, the deputy president of the Nigerian Senate, DSP Senator Barau, and of course the former governor and former national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Alhaji Abdullahi Ganduje. All of them witnessed when 8 members of the House of Representatives from Kano officially decamped from the NNPP and joined the APC. So because still in the wave of the camping, and of course, because the election have officially, or maybe would officially start next month, because the primaries of the political parties would run from April 26th to the 30th of May, and that will signal the start of full-fledged electionary campaign towards the 2027 election. Interesting conversation, ladies and gentlemen, and of course the wave seems to be leaving a lot of questions. Is the ADC the new opposition party in Nigeria? Remember, on Sunday, Nigeria's foremost opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, conducted a factional national convention in Abuja, but of course INEC had recognized the leadership of that faction, and the National Working Committee have been updated on INEC's website. However, the other faction led by the national chairman, Alhaji Tᴏɪᴛᴜ Sᴏᴜ, and the governor of Oyo State, His Excellency Governor Sᴏᴜᴜ Mᴜkèdè, Deputy Governor, former Deputy Governor Ayapaja, and a few other governors or leaders of the party did not join the convention that was led and coordinated by the FCT minister in Abuja on Sunday. And it looks like it's a wave or the start of a new level of litigations around the main opposition party. And of course, it's been a massive exodus from the PDP. Governors have left the party, senators have left the party, reps members have left the party, former national ESCOs, former party chairmen, they've all dumped the party in the last 15 months. In fact, the governors of Rivers, Bayelsa, Akwa Ibom, Delta, Plateau, Taraba, Adamawa, mention all of them, and they've left the PDP in the last 15 months, citing different reasons. The faction in the party. I don't know who is the leader of the party. I don't want to contest an election, and I won't know who is going to declare my result and all of that. But the question everyone is asking is this: is the African Democratic Congress the new opposition in Nigeria? A couple of months back, the National Public Secretary of the ADC, Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, joined me on the show right in this studio, and the conversation was centered around the level of acceptance that Nigerians could have on his party. Well, we'd also have the state chairman of the ADC, Honorable George Ashiru, joined me on the show as well, and he was very confident that in a couple of months' time, his party will be the number one bride of Nigerians. And yesterday, in the ancient city of Kano, historically enough, because of the hundreds of thousands of people that witnessed arguably maybe one of the biggest catch for the ADC in the last few months. Remember, the cross carpeting of the former vice president probably did not get this much razzmatazz. I'm talking about when Alhaji Atiku Abubakar moved to the ADC. Even the 2019 presidential candidates, His Excellency, 2023 presidential candidates, Mr. Peter Gregory, I'm not even sure he got this much wave. But yesterday, people in their numbers, in their thousands, were in Kano to welcome the leader of the Kwankwasia movement, Rabbi Musa Kwankwaso, into the fold of the ADC. Wow, there are rumors that in the next couple of days, more reps members, assembly members, even former governors could be joining the African Democratic Congress. We're hoping that we'll be able to get the National Police Secretary of the ADC to join us on the station before the end of the week, Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, to give us where the party is right now. But of course, I have a man that I've been on this show, but this time around is officially a member of the ADC. And the last time he was here, it was a conversation around, where does the PDP stay in his state? His former principal, this and that. And of course, I had a feeling that my guest today was going to be coming up with some ambition very soon. So I've been keeping track. And when I saw the declaration today, I reached out. Honorable Shedrack Kulugba is back on the show today. The last time he was here, it was the former senior special advisor to the former governor of Edo State on student Affairs. Now, he's coming in on the show today as an aspirant for the Federal House of Representatives Owan Federal Constituency. This time around, not as a PDP member, but as a member of the African Democratic Congress. Honorable Shadrach, good to have you back on the show, and good evening to you.
Good evening, Mr. Kwame. It's a pleasure being here. Good evening, Nigerians. I hope you're having a nice time.
It's always a pleasure to have you join us. The energy is always high. The conversation is always super explosive. So it's a pleasure to have you join us.
Yeah, thank you very much. The pleasure is mine too.
Wow. Before we even talk about where you're coming from or what happened today, somebody saw your poster, the flyer of this program on one of my social media platforms, and it calls you the cocoyam farmer. Where did that name come from? I asked him. It was that he said, "Ask Honorable. We call him the cocoyam farmer." Where did that name come from?
Of course, you know I'm the local man, and when I write, usually when I write at the bottom of my writings, I write on the Rᴏᴜsᴇ is the local man from Imu, writing from his cocoyam farm. Oh. So that's where the cocoyam. So that just says. He appears to sit here with a lot of persons who say Shadrach is really indigenous, is local, and then I just forgot that publicity that my writings have given to me over the years is now adopted the name of a cocoyam farmer, which is just fine. Man, I'm always writing from my village in Union.
It's a different kind of name. So, because when I posted, someone was like, this cocoyam farmer, this guy go win in election, and I'm like, so let's have a conversation. But before we even come into what happened today, let's talk about the ADC. First off, the last time you were here on the show, you were still a member of the PDP, because we had conversation around where is Edo State, the APC governor, how is the people dealing with the wave of economic challenges and all of that. But it's a different conversation today. What has changed for you between the last time you were here on the show and now that you're officially a member of the ADC?
For me, I had to first of all watch closely at the trajectory of the Nigerian politics. What exactly? Because for me, I've come to believe that the All Progressive Congress do not mean well for Nigerians and the Nigerian people at all. Their plans and policies have done nothing but unmitigated suffering. Insecurity is on its all-time worst. It's not obvious that the bandits and the kidnappers and the Fulani herdsmen is just an extension, a subsidiary of the APC. So to put an end to our insecurity, our economy just have to change Tinubu, irrespective of political platform. And the party that had worked well, before now, has been the People's Democratic Party. But that party appears to be in chaos, appears to have serious challenges. So that's why I now have to watch whether the soul of the APC, the PDP is still intact, or if it has been compromised. But after watching carefully, we had our convention, the national convention at the FCT, and it did not hold water. It was not a...
Hello, can you hear me? Okay, I think we need to find, we'll have to reconnect with the guest. Whatever happened in between that conversation, would certainly have to reach out back to him. He officially declared his ambition to run for a political office today, and like I said, he's someone that I followed his political journey for a while, and I felt like, why don't we just have this conversation today, especially on the back of the wave that received Rabbi Musa yesterday in Kano. So Honorable Shadrach is here with us on the show today to drive the conversation. He is the former senior special advisor to the former Edo State governor on student affairs. Good to have you back. I think the network, I will play the first one on us there.
Yes, very good. I had some network glitches. Okay. But as I said earlier, we have to now look for a viable platform which we will use to tackle the challenges of the opposition and combat the APC in this coming election. And if you watch clearly, every Nigerian who desires for sustainable democracy understands this requirement. And that's why many of them, all three candidates who ran with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the last election have now moved in to support they are moving into the AGC to run for office. And to a large extent, that is why we are now moving. That's the direction we are moving, and it's a great thing for us all.
Okay, we almost had the same thing in 2023, the build up to the 2023 election. The wave was moving to the Labour Party, and then in that instance, there were a lot of senators, a lot of reps members, House of Assembly members that probably wouldn't have won the election if not the wave of the Labour Party, vis-a-vis Peter Obi's factor as well. And many months after, about 70% of them have left the Labour Party to go back into the All Progressive Congress, a party they use the Labour Party as a platform to campaign against. Are you worried, especially with the wave of the campaign into the ADC, Right Honourable Shedrack? Are you worried that a lot of things that happen to Labour Party could also happen to the ADC after the election, especially when people win on the platform of the ADC?
Right, I do not believe that any of such things will happen. I strongly believe that every one of them will be on ground to support, to join voices with the All Progressive Congress, to join voices with the ADC, because to a large extent, this ticket of the ADC is not going to be a ticket of whether it is a PDP, whether it is going to be Kwankwaso, whether it's going to be Atiku, whether it's going to be Peter Obi. It's going to be a united engagement, a coalition to save Nigeria. And that's why we're going to put all hands on deck to ensure that we ensure prosperity and sustainability. So it's not just about personal interest. It is more about how they can save Nigeria. And that's where the battle will be taken towards, how they can come together to save Nigeria and end the APC. So even if all three of them cannot be on the ballot, all three of them cannot be candidates, only one of the candidates and one to serve as running mate. But be it as it may, at the right time, eventually, they will all come together to support the candidacy of whoever emerges. And I do not believe that people will not start ticketing from one place to another. I strongly believe that they will start together and will forge a united front in the coming elections.
Honorable Shedrack, let me put this to you straight up. Is the ADC, the coalition, the new opposition party in Nigeria?
Yes, of course. The party is very strong, it's very powerful, and will be able to do the needed, give the needed check to the APC. Because you see very clearly, they too are very jittery. Before now, there used to be some skepticism about who is coming and who is not coming, what to do, what not to do. But once all the juggernauts, the big wigs are there, and they are able to mobilize, organize, and consider themselves. If the Labour Party, who were alleged not to have any structure, was able to go this far, then I strongly believe that the ADC with the structure will do better.
You sound really confident. And let's look at what happened in Kano yesterday. You made a flash reference to it just a couple of minutes ago. The 2023 presidential candidate of the new Nigerian People's Party and the leader of the Kwankwaso movement, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, officially joined the ADC after resigning from the NNPP on Saturday. And his welcome was in a grand style. They call it the triumphant entry of a gladiator. Hundreds of thousands of his supporters across even neighboring states thronged into Kano yesterday to give it a carnival-like reception. And of course, the 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate and a lot of Labour Party and even ADC bigwigs were there to receive Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. And the outcome of that means the candidate that came second, third, and fourth in the last presidential election, that's Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, and Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso respectively, have all joined the ADC. The election is in January 2027. Honorable Shedrack, how significant was what happened in Kano yesterday to the political dynamics of the 2027 election?
Yeah, I strongly believe that what happened in Kano is a bold statement that to a large extent it puts the ADC on the map, because we now have some of the strongest aspirants from the Kano from the north collaborating with Peter Obi from the south. And I strongly believe that all of these things put together will give clear directions to a new Nigeria. And then the Kwankwaso movement is a non-movement. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso is a man that has the requisite capacity to mobilize organic support in his own state in Kano. And Kano is really very integral in the politics of Nigerian nation state. So Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso now in the ADC supporting supporting the party against the candidacy of the APC, I strongly believe very vehemently. There is a big blow for the APC, is a blow to the face of the APC and a big blow for the ADC. And with Tᴜɪ̀nmᴜ people are now beginning to rekindle the hopes of an Obi ticket as one of the strongest tickets because Obi to a large extent enjoys organic support. But there's also believe that we need a northerner to take down a southerner. So the opposition needs to feed a northern candidate and Obi has to deputize first so that we want to at least reach power. Because we cannot be talking of zoning when we are not in government. We have to zone what we have. Just that is an already arrangement of 8 years, 8 years rotation between the north and the south. So Robin is a big plus for the ADC, and they only know that to a large extent they only have one state in the bag. The governor that defected to the APC did not win on his own political might. It was the new Nigerian Labour Party that eroded him into power. And the new Nigerian Party today is standing down and moving to the APC to form a united coalition. So whether we like it or not, it's a signal of strength. And we could see the turnout for just registration, how people turned out to support Tᴜɪ̀nmᴜ. And for me, putting everything together, I strongly believe that we will move forward. We will get a better. We will move forward. The ABC, once they want to feed a candidate, and then the candidate is able to arouse the interest and sensibility of Nigerians, we are good to go.
Okay, how positive are you that there won't be any fallouts from the outcome of whatever could happen in that ADC? So this is where I'm driving at. The former Speaker and Governor of Rivers State and former Minister of Transport, Right Honorable Rotimi Amaechi, at different times also indicated interest to run for the presidency on the platform of the party. There is also the Labour Party 2023 presidential candidate and 2019 vice presidential candidate on the platform of the Labour Party and the PDP. Talking about the former governor of Anambra State, His Excellency Mr. Peter Gregory Obi, had also indicated he wants to run for the presidency. Well, Senator Rᴏᴏᴜ was on the ballot of his political party in 2023, so I'm sure that dream only got bigger because he now has a bigger platform. Now, there is the big fish himself, the man that had constantly been on the ballot, whether at the primaries or the main election, the former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar at the Waziri Adamawa himself. He's also not hiding his intention to give it another shot. That is the presidency. So we have big gladiators. We don't even know if there will be other people that could still indicate interest much later. But we're talking about Rᴏᴜᴜ, we're talking about Peter Obi, we're talking about Rotimi Amaechi, we're talking about Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. So the conversation around zoning, maybe the North should complete the 4 years, we should go back to the status quo, the South have done even more than the North since we returned to democracy 26 or almost 27 years ago. These are issues that people have put on the table on a Bushedra. And going into the primaries of the ADC is going to be a tough battle. We've seen the APC have a consensus candidate for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to pick the sole ticket for the party ahead of the 2027 election. The PDP on his own part still seems to be cooking as one of the leaders of the party, as Senator Bukola Saraki has said that the PDP would zone the presidential ticket to the South so that the South would continue and finish up his 8 years. But the ADC seems to have a lot of loose ends to tidy up. In your own opinion or from your crystal ball, where do you think the pendulum of that could swing to? Another candidacy that could put up a Atiku Abubakar and or Peter Obi joint ticket, or Amaechi, a Rᴏᴜᴜᴜ, that is another ticket that could bring up Rotimi Amaechi and or Peter Obi joint ticket, or a Peter Obi ticket that would bring in a Rᴏᴜᴜᴜ, that's a South and a Northern ticket. What are you flipping from your crystal ball?
For me, for my calculation, Rᴏᴜᴜᴜ can be the candidate. That one is clear for me. It's either going to be an Atiku as president, as candidate, and a Peter Obi supporting him, or a Peter Obi as candidate and Rᴏᴜᴜᴜ or someone else, a Tabua or whoever, as a running. Those are the two possible tickets. There's no third, there's no fourth, there's no fifth. Atiku and Obi ticket, or Peter Obi and Rᴏᴜᴜᴜ. These are the two possible tickets. If Atiku Abubakar takes the ticket and Peter Obi refuses to deputize, then the ticket falls to the ground. It won't fly. There's no victory in it. if Atiku took the ticket and Atiku refused to give him his support, they just to pull away. Even though that musical on the ticket also falls to the ground. So the three of them need each other. If Peter Obi is on the ticket and Atiku Kwakwaso is deputizing him, then Atiku must play a major role like the role of a director general. To put all of his blessings, to carry him around the nation, to canvass for him in the north, to say, this is the one I place my hand upon. If it's Atiku that is the candidate, then Obi must be able to mobilize his followers to say, yes, I know it's me who believe in, but let me take one step in and hope that after my boss finishes, I will not be the president. Because they say half bread is better than chin-chin. So whether you like it or not, those are the only two tickets I see that can make any effective change or challenge the APC for victory. There are many other permutations that can come out, but none of them lead to victory, in my candid opinion. Because for me, there are three people, there are no new giants, and which is not there. It's only Atiku, Peter Obi, and Kwakwaso, so only three giants, and no new giant has been forged. So we are going to look at how we're going to get a ticket that all three of them will agree to. Kwakwaso is the least among the three of them, because his vote was just about $1 million thereabout, but that does not mean it's consequential. So the other two people who had about $6 million, $7 million thereabout, 6%, those are the people who are considering. Those are the people who make the shot. So if one is willing to just step down for the other, so if the says, oh, I will deputy Atiku takes it. If Atiku says, I want to place, I will let him run, Atiku takes it. What means I want to say, ⴏ or whoever they are, those are the second 11 for the ticket. I don't want to really touch any of these two great men.
I like the reference you made. There's the first team and then there's the second 11, and I like that. But now there are a lot of twists to what you just raised, and thank you very much, by the way, for putting those lines out. First off, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is 79 at the moment. So if he gets on the ballot next year, it means that it could be close to 80 years when we'll have the next election. If he wins the election, that means he will serve from his 8th year to 84th year. You understand what I'm trying to say? That means if he wins the election, by the time he's done in 2031, Atiku Abubakar is going to be 84. So you look at the wave of the ADC right now, and it's tempting. Why can't I give it a shot? I've been contesting since 1990 something, maybe 1990. Contested the primaries in Jos against the late Moshood Kashimawo Abiola in the 1993 election. In 1999, in 2007, he ran against his, in 2003, he was on the ballot. In 2007, he indicated interest. 2011, he left the PDP, went to the A seed as at that time. He lost the primaries to National Security Advisor. He was the presidential candidate of the ACN in 2011. I'm talking about Malam Nuhu Ribadu. Exactly. A lot of names are just jumping around in my head right now. But don't you think the temptation of a final shot and a combination of give and take, I know politics is not like bread and butter, as we'd always say, a combination of 6.8 and 6.1 million, the total vote last election, and the fact that, listen guys, if I don't get it this time around, I will stop contesting, are those tempting enough to get Atiku Abubakar on the ticket as the candidate? And maybe, just like you posited, a Peter Obi conversation that could say, you know what, Atiku will do 1 year, 4 years, and once he's 84, he would hand over to a Peter Obi, and the first time in our modern history would have a southeastern president. Am I sounding like a political scientist to you, Honorable Shedrack Udubai? I mean, these are the things that people are throwing around. Do you subscribe to all of these permutations?
The first thing you must realize is that Atiku's ambition is legitimate. You cannot say because the man, first of all, like I said, is there a specific age for optimal performance? Of course, maybe a range. Because okay, at the early 35 to early 50 or 60 years, the person retires, above 60, the person begins to deteriorate. But I also tell them that yes, my government, my state, 50-something years old man, has challenged public figure, has never given any live interview. The president of Senator Monday Okpebholo. But even if you can compare the intellectual capacity of Monday Okpebholo to an 18 years old Atiku. So if you keep saying it's only age, I dare say it's a bad. You can compare Atiku of 30-something years old to Atiku of 50 years to an Atiku of 80 years, not with another person. So because I ask myself, is the man mentally fit to, as I look, that who are 35 years, they don't have the mental capacity to live. And I'll give you a good example. Mondo Okpebholo is a governor everybody knows. I'm not painting him black. The fact that there is speak for themselves. You could see what happened when I was trying to call the figures of his budget. We could see that the guy has never got for any last interview. We could see when the guy Yamadi corrected when the guy goes to speak. A governor, a city governor, former senator, GCFR, or GSM, we know of those things. So you cannot tell me alone that age is the ultimate factor. If that's the age of the factor, they'll go and get a 20-year-old boy. But the man also built his political structure, a ladder. He has not wasted his years. He has used it to build influence and capital. That is what makes him relevant. If I have the relevance Atiku has, I will be on the ballot. So the conclusion is that the man's ambition is legitimate. And whether you like it or not, there's nobody who tells his child, my son, if you are running for office and you need something in life, and you try, you don't get it, give up or resign. Or I tell my child that whatever will make you happy, never stop chasing it. No matter how many times you fail, rise up again and try again. And what the history of people who have tried, they eventually got it. God is a clinical example to that. So for me, the man's ambition is executing. If you want to now say, if you have an ambition that goes against you, you have to negotiate or you contest. If the man goes against defeat you, that means he's stronger than you. So you now pray, and there's nothing you can do. Because the majority of party leaders say Atiku is their best bet. And mind you, Atiku has for him to run against a North in South Africa is the biggest northern position today. Whether you like it or not, after the death of Buhari died, Atiku Abubakar is bigger than even the Shettima was calling the vice president of Nigeria. Politically. So the man, if you have such a political capital in your side, you don't want to undermine him because of petty pedestrian settlement. As I'm not today, I'm a Satana in totality. And I believe strongly in the principles of zoning and rotation as a means of power sharing, so that everybody will have equal access to power and empowerment, so that there will be even development. But that being said, I will not subjugate competency, the ability to lead and sacrifice on the altar of rotation or zoning. Because I'm here today, there is no one cup of rice that has been given to me. It is your brother that is a Satan that is in office. Take this one as your benefit. There is nothing like that. So even if my brother is the Satan president for the next 30 years, as long as the average person is suffering, I should have been suffering, whether it's a Northerner or a Southerner. What we need is a man that can deliver. So we have tried Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the man has said he's free. So I cannot longer be agitated for another Southern term. I'm giving a Southerner opportunity, and the Southerner has said free. The Northerner that will be able to take power from this man. If a man spends 10 years like this, how would the second 10 years look like? In his first 10 years, already telling that bandits are his brothers, that they are their prodigal son, and the economy is in his dark son, is backward. The man is spending so much on campaigning. Then in the second term, when he now does not need to do anything, does not need to return, what kind of color of governance we're going to get? For me, removing Tinubu is the ultimate task, irrespective of if you remove Tinubu and bring in a dead man, I will vote for the dead man. Let this man live. Let us punish him for his failures and inadequacies. So that the other guy is coming, even if he's dead, he will know that he can also be punished. How can you be solving security by sharing rice? Solving a correct problem by sharing rice. Everything we talk about in this country, the solution will be is rice. And the sun has made it look as though we are running a monarchical democracy. See, whether you like it or not, my agitation is for any ticket that can take down the APC, be it north or south. And I'm watching kill it. I don't know what Nigerian agents should be. When they say, want to take one criminal for another criminal, I say no. You may think that way, but nobody says no criminal can be worse than this current progressive criminals. This is what we have to do. And no government can be as bad as the criminal of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So you have to be very careful. Because if you say you want us to enjoy that second term, oh man, we will move from fire to fire. Because they will reduce Nigeria to as they have reduced Lagos, where it picks and choose whoever becomes what, when, and how. They've already today now, before INEC opposition used to win, because INEC could give a level of fairness. I don't say did an election, not cycle election, and somebody won. When Jonathan was president, Oshomole won a district. When Buhari was president, Obaki from the opposition party won a district. But today, even when Bola Ahmed Tinubu lost, he emasculated the system, the president, they brutalized it. They've broken our political structures. You can't go to the judiciary to get any judgment or expression of justice. You can't talk about insecurity. So what do we now want to maintain? I should not vote for a certain failure, or commit to a plan that no will retain this certain in office. So for me, it's beyond is Abi I like, is Atiku I don't like. No. we are not fighting for survival. And as I said before, the APC, the bandits, kidnappers, Boko Haram, ISWAP, all the farmer headers, all those things we call, they are subsidiaries of the APC. If that's the only thing we can achieve, by kicking out the APC and their insecurity, we would have done something good for Nigeria.
I mean, there's a lot that you said right now, and I'm saying, okay, maybe there's someone somewhere that's listening, and I said, okay, are these the permutations? Are these the mindset? So, and that is one thing I'm always very, very careful about. When people talk about ideologies, Honorable Shedrack, I'm always very careful to put it on, the side of Nigerian politicians, because a lot of us are just, are sweet space grabbers. You take your breakfast in the PDP, you don't like the fact that the food is too salty. You go to the Labour Party for lunch. Oh, it's too cold, they didn't warm it well, and then you're looking for a sumptuous dinner in the ADC by evening. That is a typical Nigerian politician's mindset. It's about interest. But based on what you have said right now, do you think the entire structure as it is of the ADC today can unite the ideology, if any, or let me put it this way, unite the interest? Because I've had conversation with Honorable George Ashiru, the Lagos State chapter of chairman of the ADC. I've had a conversation with Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, the national spokesperson of the ADC, and both of them seems to share the same ideology about what they want to do. But these are people in the party, but we're talking about people that are looking for political offices in the party. Can their thoughts align, or you think it's going to be about my interest or nothing?
Anybody who says my interest or nothing should go and look for his own party. And sadly enough, there's no another political platform again.
Unfortunately, with the Electoral Act, you're stuck to your party.
You are stuck there. So if you say you are not, Obi cannot leave now. He wants to go and contest in that election. It's not possible. And so we are stuck here, and we have to now make it work. It's a child of necessity. If you're going to be you or not, they should have been the ADC. Obi should have remained in the Labour Party. Atiku should have remained in PDP. Babi Musa should have remained in the New Nigeria Party. So that everybody can, at least, I don't had the opportunity of running again as the candidate if you came to the ADC. So they also know the truth even better than we, the populace. Nobody wants to go to raise 10 resources and comes out. Add the three of their votes is far ahead of that of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So the minority won because the other opposition votes were clearly divided among three persons. So if they come on with this mentality, you are watching, I cannot begin to praise them. I cannot talk about their personal career, capacity, and whatsoever. They return to what would be election in 2019. We had about close to 91 political parties, over 60 presidential candidates. The issue will be we both are not this spread or divided across numerous candidates. So there's a need for them to now the political platforms are not available. You see, adaptive people has the presidential candidate, and the other political platforms, everybody are just relaxed and hoping. Every time we had numerous candidates, the Mogalus, Obibikusili, Tolakoladi Fashwa, all of them were all presidential candidates jumping around the whole scene. But today, they were relaxed. So they trying to go and relax. How many votes did he put the last time? Last time he ran in 20 years, he put 33,000 votes. And that's the best he could get. That one is never enough to bring so many to us. Every house of assembly can't get to house of faith. So assembly in the east. But for me, whether you like it or not, they know the perimeters. These people they start talking. Funny enough, before Kwakwaso moved into the party, he had meeting with Atiku, he had meeting with Obi, they were meeting with her. So they are not babies anymore. They too want to enter into government because they know. And when they all lost, they all went home in their houses. They knew how it was to be in the government as in power. So whether it is new or it's not new, but as long as they are government in power and you have the political mind, a prime position will be given to you. One of them will end up as SSG, one may end up as chief. The only person that can't do all those things is Atiku Abubakar. And that's why it is going to be very difficult for him to step down or give the ticket to another person because there's really nothing in the government that you used to compensate him.
I mean, being the former vice president.
So there's nothing you can give to him that will make him excited. There's nothing you can't say you want to give him money because the matter like this is rich to the teeth. He has done well for himself. Money is no longer his problem. How many years is left of his life? If you give him money, what does he want to eat with? And what does he want to, he has established himself. So that's why it's difficult for me to look him in the face and say step down because if I tell Obi to step down, Obi can be giving SSG, Obi can be giving chief of staff, Obi can be giving a minister of defense. He has never been any of those. The same thing with Rabi Musa Kakaso, but people can't take any of those things. So if I'm supposed to win, I should know what's in it for me. If people should step down, there's nothing in him in the ADC government, whether we like it or not.
Okay. Before we come to Owan federal constituency, which is some good interest for you and I, by the way, let's talk about a very critical block within the ADC, the obedient movement. I've had conversation with thousands of them. I've seen their posts at different times, been on different spaces and engagement with them, and the body language is very clear. They are not settling for the vice presidential ticket. We go into the ADC, we don't get the ticket. It is the ticket or nothing. I've watched the national coordinator of the movement. I'm trying to remember his name now, and he's also been very clear about that. We want to run for president. We've been governor, we've been vice presidential candidate, we've been presidential candidate, we're not returning as vice presidential candidate. And these are big demands that would certainly follow Peter Obi into the ADC conversation. Are these legitimate demands? Because they feel like, you know what, we've got the numbers. Where would this be, or how would this be settled eventually if the offer of the presidential ticket does not drop on the table of His Excellency Mr. Peter Gregory Obi? What happens to the obedient movement?
You know, one thing I've really observed, I've looked at the quality of people who are supporting Peter Obi. Many of them are social media pundits. In all fairness, in all respect to them, many of them are social media pundits who just grew into fame, and because they post Peter Obi, they have followers. The man has a way of aligning himself with many of those social media giants. And many of them have come to think in their head that if Peter Obi, this man I'm seeing now, when we used to talk, I used to call, used to respond, becomes president, that means there's no way I will not be special advisor. There's no way I will not be SAC. There's no way I will not enter into government and begin to run around in Aso Rock. There's no way I will not be a strong force. In that calculation, they don't want to hear anything aside Peter Obi. They don't want to, because they know that other politicians have their political family, their clout. They can't have that kind of access with Atiku. Atiku has forged his political allies and associates long before now. They can't have such a Oᴜᴜᴜ, so that one has forged his associates. But they believe that if this is president, it is heaven on earth for each and for many of them. So for a man who is not fighting for his own parochial interest, I can't blame him for anything he says. And when I read those things on social media, Obi or nothing, all this money rubbish, I laugh. Because it was these same people who came out to say that when we were forming ADC, the LDC is a poison chalice. It's not different from the APC. If the same fake politicians who destroy Nigeria regarding the ADC, Obi can never be founded. But when Obi moved in, all of them rag, no one on them said they won't follow Obi. There's no one person or the people who said it's not following Obi to ADC, that is not good. But yes, they is dining and running with all the people who say they are evil and they are not clean. Those are the enemies of Nigeria. Today is begging them. They are deputizing the council. The council an angel. So when they say those things, I look at it and laugh. And it's good publicity for Peter Obi because they're trying to push the man to make him look bigger and larger than life. But however, if the ticket does not stop on the table of Peter Obi and maybe Atiku preaching the ticket, it will only be wise, in all honesty, in all fairness, it will only be wise for Peter Obi to run for vice president. Because whether you like it or not, he won't be the vice president like Shetima is petaya that the son is overriding. Because of his political clout and his contributions to governance. There are 25 ministries in Nigeria. He could say, okay, Obi bring 10, let me bring 15. Government is going to be shared on the basis of how you contributed, not because whether you are your base of your office. That's why today, one of the strongest persons in Bola Ahmed Tinubu is Nyesom Wike, because the man mobilized himself and 4 other governors to support the man's candidacy, destroyed his opposition and delivered the state. So that is his bragging right. His contribution is known, and that's why he's making so much noise, and nobody is able to shut him down. Tinubu cannot do without him. You have to just praise him because the man has value. So also, if Peter Obi moves to deputize, isn't that the same Wike was running his mouth? So he's not running to his vice. So what I can't do is that today is doing minister. Politicians, they talk from both sides of them, but you don't listen to them, they proceed. Instead of being shouting down for vice tomorrow, when I take crazy ticket, he may likely want to be vice. Because that is his only entry. Because if he does not run as vice, he will likely never be president. After he finishes, after Tinubu finishes, he goes to a north. And after that not 8 years, they certainly would have put in structures to ensure that the man does not emerge. So that we like it or not, the man's best bet is to work hard like this and get the ticket. If he doesn't get it, it's to run as vice. So whatever for me, those people who are making those content on social media say will be or not will be. Ask them. Many of them they know it personally. The second, many of them do not even know the problem of Nigeria. They just hate Nigerian politicians. They hate the fact that politicians have made life hard for them, and they just see Peter Obi as a punishment for Nigerian politicians. Not necessarily because Peter Obi can do better. You just see, if my this one they say when they destroy them, they will not vote for them. That's the thing. They don't care so much about these policies. That's why I tell you that even if Obi does not, he's not going to Anambra, we assume that we want. But they see that it's a departure from the establishment, and also a departure will weaken the correct political establishment, which may be correct in a sense, but that does not give legitimacy to their grievances. There are some who wants to make money for the process. The government will be around last time, many people became multi-millionaires with their international donations. That's how J.S. became very prominent. They started making raising money from the party and for coalition. They all made money. All the ESCOs were they made money. And so other people give support groups from international and local states. They all made money. The people have also positioned themselves to say to begin to run. The first thing to do is to open a GoFundMe and also make money. So the things are there. For someone like me who understands politics in and out, I'm looking and I know that the onus is on the party. When the party makes that decision, we now know where it's going. I mean, I'm already a principal stakeholder in this state. There's no different stakeholders in the corner that I won't attend. I will also make my remark in this thing. The last time I went to the National Secretariat, they also asked me, so that what is your favorite ticket? I told them, is this, and this, or this. And I give my analysis, and we all marveled at analysis. So the truth is this, I understand the issues, and I try to be clear. Because you can't really deceive the people and hope to get power. It's really not possible. So that's why I believe.
All right, thank you very much. We'll come talk about it very soon, but some breaking right there. The member representing Ojo Federal Constituency in Lagos here, Honorable Sᴏᴜ from the Labour Party, has officially dumped the Labour Party for the ADC. So another one right there, but. Honorable Shedrack, what is happening at Owan Federal Constituency? I mean, it looks like it's a different journey this time around. What is going on? Lead us into that conversation. You officially declared your ambition to contest the ticket of the ADC for the seats to represent the people of Owan Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives. And I was making my research. I found out that one of the very prominent politicians in Edo State from the ruling APC are actually holding sway in that seat at the moment. Lead us into your conversation and the next chapter of your political journey.
Yes, for me, I decided to run not out of personal interest, but out of the irregularities. First, my ambition is anchored on two things: the nature and the parameters that are characterize Nigeria, the Nigerian democracy, the Nigerian government, and the Nigerian people. And that's on one hand. Then secondly, the Owan nation. So I'll quickly touch on both. First of all, because the Owan nation because it's literally pertinent. There's Owan East and there's Owan West. Both of them put together form the Owan Federal Constituency. Then there's the Isako East, Isako West, Isako Central. Three of them put together form the Isako Federal Constituency. Then there's the Akuku Edo, one local government. So there are 6 local governments in Edo North. 3 is Isako, while the other 2 is Owan and 1 is Akuku Edo. So Isako now sits on 3 on this left and 3 on the right. In our federal constitution, there is the issue of gross marginalization on the Owan people. The Owan people are not able to get their fair share from the Nigerian nation state. And because you know that Nigeria is built on politics, there is no economy. Nigerian economy is built on politics. If the people cannot get the politics right, the people cannot, their economic life can never be empowered, can never be free, can never be productive. In Owan today, we've had 9 senators from the North since Nigeria was formed in 1960. 7 of them are Isakos, only 2. And 1 is Akoko, 1 is Owan. And in the recent years, we used to rotate the house of the senatorial ticket round, but since it has not been domiciled in Isako, Ali McKenna did in 12 years before Oshomole took over. So in the last 8 years, Oshomole took over. Oshomole now had 4 years, making it 12 straight years. And yet, the Isakos now want Oshomole to return to do another straight 16 years. Whereas the people in Akko have only done 4 years in the return of democracy in 1999. Owan East has only 4 years, while Owan West has never produced a senator in the return of democracy in 1999. While the Isakos, they've done over close to 20 years now. So the development is on that axis. To make it work, the APC we have in Owan brought forth Julius Nyoweri as reps. Ordinarily, the situation since you have the Owa East and West, the House of Reps, is being rotated every 8 years. Owa West will do 8 years, Owa East will do 8 years. That's how it's going on. Owa West did 8 years with Paleria, say, who now rules whether the chiefly. Then it now gave power to Jᴏsᴜ from Owa West. Jᴏsᴜ now has done 8 years. He does not want to leave. The APC is still trying to give him a return ticket because majority leader and is close to the president.
And does that negate the gentleman agreement?
Yes, and beyond that, the man has performed woefully poor. Even the APC says they will vote for him because the man has done abysmally poor. Can you believe that the last election, Yᴏᴜ was sharing class to farmers so that they will vote for him? His empowerment at pedestrian is not seen. He doesn't do campaign. All he does is just share money for political party leaders. And because there's not been a strong opposition against his candidacy, he has been having a field day. So to now make a look at the only position that our East and West share in common, he now wants to be the called APC. Because we have the Oᴜᴜᴜ APC. Now wants to use the strategy of divide and conquer against the other position that the our East guy will not be looking at the other guy who is taking his political opportunity will not be allowed. It will be allowed to rotate effectively and manipulate to the easy access to power and empowerment. Then beyond that, the APC has reduced the other people to this Oᴜᴜᴜ APC. Oᴜᴜᴜ in particular is the arrowhead, has reduced the other APC to the grass they are using to feed the Esako cows. It is the Esako politician who chooses who the local government chairman in Owa. It happened when Oᴜᴜᴜ was governor. When Sᴛᴜᴜ was in Obaski's tenure, it was Sᴛᴜᴜ who brought an Owa man who was a PA to the wife that came to run for local government chairman. Even when we thought that local government chairman should be zoned to Ward 5, the man was on Ward 3 and was imposed. He served as chairman before the W kicked him out. Just recently, the Edo State is planning to have a convention, a local government election. If another East command has not chosen who will be local government chairman of all East and West, the person of Jared Tinubu. So the question I ask my one is, if you cannot choose your leaders, how do you expect the leaders to work for you? If the most popular definition of democracy is the government
of the people.
That is what we call legitimacy. Government of the people by the people. If the people choose not to, I tell you that we have an Oba in my village. The minute another village begins to choose the Oba of my village, now Oba begins to start them and us. So when if you go to Owa today, there's only one bank in the whole of Owa East. Only one bank of really the whole of Owa. The economy like is dead. It's literally an agrarian society with little or nothing to point to. They reduce the politics to the extent that they just use them to run politics and empower the people outside. The better that we've produced in recent time is Jᴏsᴜ. Jᴏsᴜ was special advisor to Olusegun Obasanjo on political matters. When Sᴛᴜᴜ was still sewing cloth as a labor union leader in Kaduna, he became governor, reduced Yᴏᴜ to SLG, later reduced it to one, and now wants to fly because he knows that Yᴏᴜ is like a contest with him for Senate. So he wants to maintain status quo. Let him remain there so that his senatorial seat is not threatened. So there's abject poverty, there is neglect, there is gross marginalization of the Owa people, which I have is sure to solve. And even the Owa people that have been empowered, they are empowered from the cycle as it, making it possible for them to now build structures and empower the Owa people. So they see them as people that just, when you throw smoke on, they run and they just put over the line. So that's why I say that we come to good empowerment that leads people powerful. The power to see Owa is when they are sharing, they should go and buy a hair dryer. They'll be sharing hair dryer to farmer. I need to wonder how will this hair dryer improve the farmer? They go and be sharing generator to bricklayers. And if they want to share Okada, they look for the party one share me. They say you should go and bring one person. They don't go and bring their in-law, their girlfriend, and they share Okada for them, and they say they empower the one people. There is nothing good to write me back. So I cannot be in that kind of constituency and sit and stand still and watch this kind of gross marginalization continue to happen on my own people. Because I know fully well that until they're able to get the politics right, bring someone who's able to go to Abuja and bring in the debate of democracy, they want people to be grossly marginalized and reduced. Beyond that, I've also looked at the Nigerian democracy. That in the floor of the National Assembly, the legislation that is being produced is not a reflection of the yearnings and aspirations of the Nigerian people. What we see is a parochial interest of the president, who does not mean well for the people. Is the one that the lawmakers are now singing for and standing on his failed mandate. So we now see that there is no independent legislation. The opposition voice in the National Assembly is nearly dead. So what we now need is people who have the capacity, the courage, the proven capacity to fight and challenge the status quo and ensure that they bring home the dividends of democracy. That is exactly what we need now. People who know how to handle the system, who can represent purposefully and meaningfully. Because most of the laws that have been made, not be made for only one federal council, they will made to Nigeria as a whole. So we need people who have the capacity, the courage to fight and stand for what they believe in, to go there and bring home meaningful and purposeful development. Then beyond that, there's a problem called legislative oversight. I said when I was in education, I said there is no APC lawmaker who can come out today to say that one of his agenda is legislative oversight as he's going to the National Assembly. Despite the fact that legislative oversight is one of the most serious business of a legislator. Because we know that what we run in Nigeria is a constitutional democracy. That is to say, in this constitutional democracy, the legislative arm of government is the most serious arm of government. The legislature has power. I said there's no president. There's no president in Nigeria that can fail without the express permission of an irresponsible, weak, corrupt, and rubber-stamped National Assembly. Because it's only the National Assembly to correct them, to discipline them when need be, and to call them to action. But we see today that the elder brother is now serving the younger brother like a slave. And that's what action I could buy. And I said it very clearly. Nigeria may improve, Nigeria may not improve. Nigeria may be good, Nigeria may not be good. That one is immaterial, doesn't concern me. What concerns me is that action I could buy, I will make my own contributions, and it will be recorded in the annals of history. So people have said that this country is doomed. Nigeria can never make it. That when you make your money, you just go abroad. I see the way you fight opposition in those states. You talk about Movulu, you do this. And you also you are not fighting a lost battle. Nigeria is already doomed. I said that's fine. I understand where you are speaking from, because today Nigeria is showing all of the characteristics of a failed nation. So if you conclude that it's failed, I will not agree with you. But what thing I tell you is that my approach to the Nigerian democracy will be simple and straightforward. And it is not different from a man who wants to go and fall down a big tree with an axe. He may go there today and cut and chew for you get tired. He will go back home and sleep. The next day he go back and continue cutting. The man may cut for 1 week, may cut for 1 month, may cut for 2 months. But one thing is sure, as long as the man keeps cutting, a day will come, the tree will fall. It is possible that the man has even finished cutting and gone home to sleep. So I will go back tomorrow to continue. Only for you to get it tomorrow and discover that the forces of nature has collaborated with his effort and the tree has fallen down. So for me, Nigeria may not be good in my own time, Nigeria may be doomed, but it's in my own contribution to ensure that I force it back on the path of rectitude and restitution, that I challenge the powers that be, that I speak it to power, and I ensure that the resources, Nigeria resources, is put in places that will retain value and be used for the interest of Nigerian people. That is my own battle. I will fight it after my contribution. I will go down and issue that. At least there will be a time people will say, whether in Nigeria will happen now, I do not know. Because I know it will take more than one person to make Nigeria great. But for me, I know I have a role to play, and my contribution will be seen. That is why I'm running.
Well, interesting conversation, and I've never known you to be short of conversations like this. So I'm not surprised we're on this run of a smooth sailing phantom, discourse rather on the show today. But let's take a leap back to where we started this conversation from, which is the ADC as a political party. It looks like the ADC is new to a lot of people because I remember at different times I've had these engagements, and the party had been here. It has never been deregistered. It had never been pushed back. It had never had litigations, even though there are quite a lot of litigations around, especially the leadership of the party. The appeal court already gave a judgment in respect to distinguished Senator David Mark's leadership, left and right. But there are a few months between now and the election. The first is going to be in January 2027. Do you think the ADC will be ready going forward? And so let me play around with some numbers. Honorable Shedrack, at the moment, the APC has about 31 governors, if I'm not mistaken. Out of the 19 northern governors, the APC has 18, with the exception of Bauchi alone. The Southeast, out of 6, there are 4. The 2 going to ABGA and Labour Party. The ABGA candidate has promised the president that his party will not field a candidate against the president. That's Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo. And of course, there is Dr. Alex Oti of Abia State. Look at the South, for instance. It is all green and whatever the color of the APC is at the moment. even the southeast as well, the south, the southwest, out of the 6 southwestern states, 4 of them are currently with the APC. The other 2, Osun and Oyo, belong to the Accord Party. That's the AP and of course the PDP in Oyo State. So if you put that in context, if you also look at the National Assembly, the APC has an absolute majority in the Senate. They have over 80 senators out of 109. In the House of Representatives, the APC also holds sway. Out of 360 reps members, the APC at the moment has about 247 members in the House of Representatives. All of this put together, anyone could argue, oh, the governors don't have more than 1 PVC. Oh, the senators don't have more than 1 PVC. But it's a wave. It's a wave that a lot of people are questioning whether we're sliding into a one-party system. Let me bring this to you, Honorable Shedrack Kutubai. Do you think the ADC stand any chance between now and January 2027 to obtain the Apple card, or in this case, send the APC out of Aso Rock in Abuja?
For me, let me be clear on this. Do you really still believe that governors are what you need to win elections? Well, first of all, let me give you an idea. We had about 23 governors in the APC in the last election when Tinubu took over power. Well, but you see that the total vote he had was about 8 million plus, if I'm not correct. Then Peter Obi in the Labour Party, who had no governor, no senator, no House of Rep member, made about 6.7 million votes. Now the impact of all the National Assembly members, the impact of all the 23 governors, what was the difference is only 2 million votes. So if 223 governors and all the national assembly could only add 2 million votes to Bola Tinubu, then why should I be scared if the number increases from 24 to 27 to about 31? So it's not realistic. And mind you, states, in Lagos, where the president came from, he had an APC on ground. It has been APC all through in history. Another party had never won there. That's when Bola Tinubu became president. And he had all the House of Assembly is his own, the House of Representatives is his own, but yet he could not win Lagos State for himself. So there was no state that was more controlled by the APC than Lagos State in the last election. And yet he lost woefully. So when you begin to read this permutation of governors, you should know that it's more than that. It's more than just merely having a governor. What having a governor does for you is that it makes rigging easy. Because you have a governor that is on ground, they cannot mobilize force, take security agency, and go and bully the people and the voters to submission. And they cannot tell NEC, do as I say, not to leave the state alive. Just like what Lsołyᴜ did for Rivers State. They used up their local government to government had over like 30% of the total vote cast in the state, when it's just one local government out of 20. Out of 20, almost 30 or thereabouts. So we still need things play before. I know what it is here. So when Tinubu is making all these business accusation of 31 government, because I believe that there were 31 people who be able to jettison the original result and use the might of power to call a falsified result to say this is the result when it's not it, and ask everybody to go to court. Not like that's the panacea, but because also knows that own the judiciary. So all of those permutations they are doing about buying governors is just to make rigging easy. It's not to make it has no correlation with victory. It's just rigging. Because those people who are governors will now have the paraphernalia of office, the resources, the might and the security to bully people to submission, to threaten and make, and people will say, the governors with me, we have an Ūᴜᴜ that's not the governor. You get the idea? So that's just why they are buying governors. So when you know that one, you will also have peace. You won't be disturbed so much of the governors who are leaving.
Okay. I mean, it looks really easy. If you look at it on the pages of, the minds of everyone, except you are in the APC. Everybody makes it look like, it's not going to be business as usual. Oh, it's Nigeria. The election is Nigerians versus the APC. And I've always asked, the members of the APC, they are not Senegalese or Gabonese. They are also Nigerians. So everybody's got, roles to play in all of this. But like I would always say, election cycle gives us a chance to either consolidate or what we have or change what we're not comfortable with. And as God would have it, since 1999 till now, even if we've not gained anything, we've gained a seamless transition of government from the 8 years of our former president Olusegun Obasanjo to the unfortunate, untimely termination of the presidency of late Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. Jonathan completed the first term, did his own 4 years as well. Then Buhari came in 2015. He did his 8 years. He's also late, by the way. Unfortunately, the two non-southern presidents that we've had since 1999 are both come from the same state of Katsina, and both of them are late. So now we have Bola Ahmed Tinubu that's going to be 3 years in office in a couple of months' time, and it's easy for us to put all the numbers on the table. But how optimistic are you, Honorable Ashedu Akudugbai, of your chances, especially when you know that the incumbent had done 8 years and probably is also aspiring to go more? What are your chances against Honorable Julius of the APC?
My chances against Honorable Julius is because I know that the young people will vote for me far more than they will vote for him. I will win. And then the issue of federal might will not be brought to bear because it's just two local governments. What's different here is that the president will be the one choosing who will be the returning officer. He will choose who will be the INEC rec. But Julius Yewere will not be the one to choose who will be the INEC rec in our east and our west. We're not going to choose who the returning officer will be. It is to a large extent nature will be allowed to take its course. And in as much as they have the resources, but I say for every time there are factors that must be available for rigging to be possible. That's why you can't rig anything and everything. Even the last election, when Odugbolu contested killing Edo State, yes, the election was settled in court as free, fair, and credible, and good one. But you see that it's own senatorial district. The 5 local governments of Edo Central, I couldn't rig any one of them. There's no way there's any result manipulation because the people there who are custodians of the vote did not allow it. It is in Edo South here that there's mutilation of results. That's why I have to now leave the government and come to rig another senatorial district to have to secure victory. So for me, there are permutations. The people must be willing to allow you ring for you to ring. And there must be about concentration of forces. On that day of election, there will not be so much actual manipulation because everybody will fight for his edge. Whereas in Edo State off-cycle election, we have like 6 governors, 1 senate president, all the high and mighty were declared. 5 DIGs, ZIGs, and all those police officers, 10,000 policemen, the ones that can't fight Boko Haram, don't know Boko Haram, is all here in Edo. But during election, there was no governor come out from that governor. Everybody will be in their state. Security will spread wide and thin. Aside from the state coalition officer, the INEC office at the state, where there will be evacuation of forces. And that will be because of the presidential results and a few 1 or 2 senatorial results that will be called. But the House of Reps and senatorial, those will be called before they get to the Abuja. So people will already know what is happening to be recorded on television and on radio, that this is what was called in the respective local government. You get the idea? So there will be hardcore evidence for all of those declarations. So it won't be so easy for you to draw the election and say people should go to court as long as we see pray to God. Because all of Nigerians, not all Nigerians, even those people in Ireland, they also know that these are progressive criminals will not mean well for Nigeria. And a good number of them will be someone declared that as a governor. And the woman stood their ground, and today she's being celebrated. So we still have a few icons of integrity around. Even though INEC has been totally sold, cornered and reduced, we still believe that they also know the voice of salvation. And for the kind of campaigns I'll be doing, the nature and the color of my candidacy, they will know that this one is set out not just to go there and replace him, but is going there to bring home again to democracy. They will believe that this one is better, this one is different, this one is more empowered, this one is more liberal. And to a large extent, people also want to give chance to a younger person, not an old man who is overused, tired and retired, inspired, and that should be in his house and take care of his grandchildren. Now wanting to represent us. A voice that is not vocal, that is not vibrant, that is silent and complacent. When development is needed, the voice is practically absent. Not a voice that is standing on this faith mandate of the president that has reduced Nigerians to mere instruments of poverty. So for me, the campaign is there. I will defeat him blue-black on that free election. My challenge is to ensure that I beat him overwhelmingly to ensure that it now becomes relatively difficult for Renji and any of such manipulations. So that's my thinking, sir.
Oh, well, a lot has been said. And the beautiful part of this is this. It looks like it's something that is very far away. Actually not. In it's just a couple of months. Today is the last day of March. I will step into the first day of April tomorrow, and then if you look at it, the proper election starts in April because the political primaries will be conducted from April to the end of May, and by then the campaigns from the presidency to the governorship, assembly members, reps, and everyone will go to speak to Nigerians again. And this is the point where you need to not just be articulate, but you also have to understand the politics that will be played at the grassroots. And these are the questions that we'll continue to ask on this conversation. And we're inviting you, if you are a politician, a candidate, an aspirant, you want to have a conversation with us, hey, it's always here for us to speak to the people, and that is because Mila 98.3 FM provides such a platform for you to reach out to the people and let them also have your engagement. My guest today on the show is Honorable Shedrack Udubai, the former SA Youth and SA Youth Affairs to the former governor of Edo State, Governor Godwin Obaseki. So today is coming on the show as the House of Rep aspirant for Owan Federal Constituency in Edo State. And today we've looked at the conversation. 2027 election, is the ADC the new opposition? Well, Honorable Shedrack, your final word, and I'm sure we still have you join us on the show again very soon. But for us to allow you go today, what's your parting shot to everyone listening this evening, especially on the state of the economy and the state of the nation?
I strongly believe that every Nigerian is aware of the issues at hand. We're aware of the pervasive poverty. We're aware of the insecurity. We know the nature of the economy because everybody is buying food at 1,500. We are feeling the bite hard on our skin. This is a good area that's been mined from our back. We have more than enough to go around for all of Nigerians. But the failure of Nigerian democracy has thrown the people into poverty and pain. And they always have a reason to give that there is Iran and Iraq that are fighting. That's why Iran and America. That's why we do not have crude oil. But when good things happening in Iran and America, when
it does not affect us.
This does not. It's only bad things that affect us. The thing that they are not telling us now is that Nigeria is making more money from increasing crude oil, so they now have more money to share. Fact just is not booming. They won't tell us that one. And for them to now say, okay, let us be responsible. The extra money on top, let us just leak. Let's just put it for subsidy. People will get it at the price they usually get it. Since we also have this product and we are selling a higher price, let's also make sure that people get at a lower price. They are not responsible enough to look at the election. What they mean is that they need more money to run election. As long as the Ŝeɖɪ is able to share rights, the great Nigerians is okay. But Nigerians should speak overwhelmingly. Nigerians should come out with a strong voice and ensure that we put an end to this crime and criminality. And that is what my party wants. The all progressive criminals was brought to an end in 2027.
I wish you well, and thank you for finding time. I mean, you've had a busy day already after your declaration earlier today, and I must admit that the turnout is quite impressive. And I wish you the very best going forward as you step up your campaign or mobilization or consultation this time around with the people under your federal constituency or one federal constituency. Thank you so much. The cocoyam farmer, I almost forgot. I want to Shedrack Udubai for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here, and I look forward to speaking with you subsequently.
Thank you very much, and have a beautiful evening. Well, the conversation is now at a full-fledged. Like I said, what happened in Kano yesterday? They always say that what happened in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happened in Kano yesterday couldn't stay in Kano. It was something that had a reverberating effect across the country. And I'm sure that somewhere, somehow, the leadership of the APC are thinking, how are we going to manage the situation in Kano? There are a lot of gladiators in that state. The 2023 governorship candidate in the state had also resigned his membership of the APC and is joining the ADC. So it's a big deal. For someone that almost won the election, or let me even put it this way, was very close to Governor Abba Yusuf with the numbers, now he's joining, and perhaps it could even be the ADC governorship candidate in the state. But listen, The senators, the reps are still sticking with the All Progressive Congress. The immediate past the former national chairman of the APC, Alhaji Abdullahi Ganduje, the deputy senate president, Senator Barau, the governor, all of them are saying, listen, Kano remains APC and Kano would always deliver the numbers for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We keep our fingers crossed. So if you look at some of the swing states in the conversation, states like Kano, state like Rivers, state like Lagos, state like Akwa Ibom, Kebbi, Sokoto, Borno, those are key states. And again, we look at where the pendulum of those states could swing to as we continue to build up to the 2027 election. Remember, in 2023 we had ballot 23, especially put up a show focusing only on the election. Mainland FM is also bringing it back. This time around, it is ballot 27. And what we're going to be doing is everything politics, everything that would expect us to provide every single details you need ahead of the 2027 election. It's a big deal. So you have to keep your dial locked on Mainland 98.3 FM for extensive coverage of the build up to the 2027 election on ballot 27. My name is Oᴏᴜᴜ Akínyẹlé. Thank you so much, Honorable Shedrack Kudubai, for joining me on the show. He was the special advisor to Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State on youth affairs. Now, he is an aspirant for Owan Federal Constituency seats in the House of Representatives on the platform of the ADC ahead of the 2027 election. Keep your dial locked here. Next up is Mainland FM Global News at 5:30, and by 6 o'clock you still get to hear this voice again, this time around on Sports Cruise on Mainland 98.3 FM. Tottenham Hotspur have agreed a 5-year deal with the former Brighton and Olympic Marseille manager Roberto De Zerbi to first off salvage the North London side from relegation this season, and of course mount a proper title challenge next season. All of this and more would be up by 6 p.m. And don't forget, the Super Eagles of Nigeria will be in action tonight. Who are they playing? You find out by 6 o'clock. Stick around and keep your dial locked on Mainland 98.3 FM, because we are the sound of Lagos.